So thank you for joining me. This is Cubi Nguyen, someone I consider a good friend and a competitor that I admire a decent amount. He has recently started playing Flesh and Blood a bit over a year ago. I know that you played a bit of Magic before that. That's where we met. And before that, you played Legends of Runeterra. How long were you playing Legends of Runeterra?
I played Legends of Runeterra I started on and off in 2021,
Hmm.
and then I got a little bit more competitive during one of the seasons 2022, like the World Ender trilogy, or like the Darken Saga.
Hmm.
I started playing more seriously, more competitively. I joined a team back then, and I played it basically until it slowly died out.
Yeah, my impression
But
was you were playing, but you were playing until they kicked you out rather than you left.
yes, exactly. The game, yeah, basically, I would have kept playing forever if they never killed the game.
That's the impression. I get at the sense that you somewhat migrated to a paper TCGs because you liked them more than the equivalents you had offered digitally, but LOR
Correct.
really
Yeah.
was the first Earth Love and the one you would have stuck with.
Yeah.
Uh, so what actually pushed you to be more competitive in LOR?
I think it was I guess I wouldn't say I got good, but I got better at the game.
Hmm.
I used to play Hearthstone a lot. I started my first ever card game was Hearthstone.
Okay.
I played Hearthstone for a couple of years. I was never really good at Hearthstone. I was always trying to hit legend. I never
Hmm.
really hit it. I hit maybe rank 1 or rank 2 back then. I think now it's called diamond.
Right. Like
Um
you had aspirations of hitting top ranks. You wanted to get good, but like
yeah, exactly.
LOR is the first game where you really feel like you started getting to that point where you want to take the leap into being a competitor, so to speak.
Yeah, basically how I start competing is I finally hit masters in a game, or the highest rank you can achieve on ladder. And after that I just wanted more, so I wanted to get higher seedings on the ladder, join a team, then play events. So kind of getting grinding the ladders what got me into playing competitive.
That makes sense. Generally, like you saw you saw that you had the ability to go further and you were interested in doing so.
Yeah.
What was your general time while competing in LOR like? What were the people like? What was the general scene like? And open
The vibes
floor
were
to give
good.
some anecdotes.
Yeah. The vibes were good. I joined a team, it was called Team Keg,
Mhm.
by pure luck. Basically
What would you
I saw
constitute as luck?
they oh, okay. So they it's pure luck because it's really funny. They had applications open on Google Doc,
Mhm.
that they posted on Twitter or something, and I applied on Twitter. I had decent showings. I sort of bubbled out of top cut in one of the big tournaments that you can only qualify by being top 200 ladder, or by winning a gauntlet and go undefeated.
Mhm.
It was they called that seasonals back then. So I think I finished 7-2, and some 7-2s get in, and I lost on tiebreakers basically.
Gotcha.
Um, I think I don't know how close I was to actually get to top 64, but that was
You
one of
had
my
a
first
record
tournaments that I
that could have gotten you there if you didn't bubble.
yeah, exactly. So that was my first time actually getting close in a competitive event, a competitive setting. I saw they were applications were open and they were looking, so I applied. I think 2 days after I applied, I queued a game on ladder, and I queued into one of the, I guess, the admins from that team or something,
Mhm.
and I ended up adding him after the game and chatting a bit, and I was like, hey, by the way, I applied for your team, so it's really funny. I meet you on ladder, and he's like, oh, well, let me check that, and then that's how I got into the team.
Okay, yeah, that's somewhat what I figured. Where I find often the things you describe as luck are you have to get somewhat lucky, but you are also very good at noticing opportunities. I think a lot of other people would just go, "Ah, cool, I know this player," and not reach out, not
Mhm.
hit them up. Like I think you are good at being confident in yourself without having too much of an ego.
I try to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're a personable guy. I think that you definitely have a skill for just like you want to talk to people that are good at the game. whatever you happen to be playing, and you will hit them up. You will seek out those practice partners.
Yeah, that's pretty much like my approach. I always try to improve, and the best way to improving is to talk to players better than you and slowly like try to catch up a little bit. Like they always keep
Mhm.
getting better too, so like you never like truly catch up like if they're competitive players, but you always get closer.
Oh yeah, of course.
And
I think
so
part
yeah,
of
I
the mentality that makes you good is not being complacent and going, yeah, I've hit whatever I wanted to hit. Yeah, cool, I'm good now."
yeah, exactly. I think there's always a bigger fish to go fish, and I try my best.
Hmm. I think even if you are the biggest fish, you will look to continue to grow. Some of the best players I know will laugh and go, "No, I'm not very good." I always
Yeah,
like to point at someone at an event and like, if there's a newer player that's going like, "Oh, this player's really good," I'll always go. Right now, if I ask them, they will laugh and go, "No, I'm not that good," and that person will go, "What,
yeah,
really?" And without fail, like I know the type of person that I can point at and go, "Hey, are you any good at this game?" And they'll go, "Hmm, no, I know someone better."
yeah. I mean, that's kind of how to see it. Like once, if ever you're the biggest fish, you start looking at the land. Like there's always something else to go look for.
Yeah, you have a very good mentality on that. Uh, oh yeah, we took a bit of a detour, but what was your experience on that team?
It was fun. I think like the team were it was pretty vibe based. I will say like I think like the team was like there was a lot of members, like a lot of players in that team,
Hmm,
and not all of them were like fully competitive players. Like a lot of them were really good players. Some of them were like very competitive, and there was like a but like I kind of got into a moment in the team where like management was changing. There was a little bit like less like a little bit less serious on the prep. I would say
hmm.
there weren't like really scrim blocks or anything. It
Oh,
was just like basically like a lot of good players on a Discord.
mhm. Yeah, it was somewhat a testing group. Like you weren't like
Yeah,
you weren't necessarily all all trying to compete for prizing or anything. Like,
yeah. I think like basically it I think it started. I don't know when that team started, but like one of the players like got a like top 8 at Worlds or something, and so like during that time, I guess it was like a very intense like prep team and stuff like that.
hmm,
And then like by the time I joined, it was like kind of on like the less like active side, but more like I guess the game was also a little bit like on a downswing kind of,
okay,
but um but yeah, like I definitely joined like in a later period like of the team,
hmm,
and then like the game died not too long after I joined, so it was a little unfortunate, but it was my first like experience on a team, and it was pretty interesting.
okay. I know that you were also on. I'm not going to get the name right, but your intercontinental ballistic missile
Oh,
gambit chess opening team.
oh yeah, so
Was that
so that
before or
was
after
like
this?
so that was like a basically there used to be like a grassroots league where like people would like make a league where they're with friends and teammates and like compete on the league.
Yeah.
So that's a like a basically a separate like kind of team that I made with the two really good friends. My friend Charlotte, where she actually plays Flesh and Blood now. And I don't know, guy. His name was like Sonic Star from Germany. He was living in Australia. He was a German guy. And basically, which is like the idea of the intercontinental ballistic missile gambit, because we're like, uh, my friend Charlotte, she was in the USA, I was in Canada, and then our teammate was a German guy living in Australia,
Ah,
and we just had very degen sleep hours, except for our friend in Australia, so that's why we always scrim together. Because like I think I would start scrimming at like 2 a.m.
gotcha.
and
You were all into the game enough to be willing to be Australian for a bit.
yeah, exactly. And we basically, as a send off to like the game, the league like made one more like very big league, and we joined as a team like as a bit like for fun.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a actually a team. It was just like a bunch of like friends we wanted to like fuck around one last time before the game died.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, oh, you were. It was more of that was a team you made for that one event than like. there was a
Yeah,
period of
yeah,
time where
yeah.
this was your team. You were like actively entering stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like we were basically the league lasted like I think 2 months or something. So like we just like prepped together for 2 months, and it was like basically a team trio format.
Yeah. Was that
But yeah,
typical for LOR?
for the Ages League, yeah, it was like that was basically the league they did. It was always team trios, Swiss rounds. Like every week you played against um 2 teams, and then there was a last. Well, sorry, 3 teams. Uh, 2 of the teams you were playing like team trio thing where you're playing against an opponent. Like the leaders of each team do have a pick band. And the last one it was like a team where three-headed giant where like we're basically spectating one of us playing and then we're playing all 3 of us against all 3 of them on like
Mhm.
a same like shared thing.
Okay, gotcha. Was it kind of like the in-game tournament client, but each of you is playing your own deck, or was it like you were all playing your own contained best of threes?
So how yeah, so basically some of the matches were each of us playing our own games, and then there was one match where we were playing all together.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Was your other team you
Yeah.
were on also competing in Aegis, or not really? Like, it sounds like there were a lot more
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
It was a bit less. Okay.
Yeah, so
Did
so basically everyone just made like their own little teams. So like we had like TKG1, TKG2, TKG3, and then like cuz me and my 2 friends we were all on a team, but we are all in different teams.
hmm,
So we like made our own kind of like mini team, which was like pretty fun.
hmm. Yeah, it seems like you have, as you mentioned, you have some amount of friends that have lasted into other card games. So seems like it was generally a positive experience.
Yeah, yeah. I do miss it sometimes, but I think it kind of died for the better. Like I think I'm
Hmm.
pretty happy whatever I landed for card games.
Yeah, it seems like you have generally hit quite the windfall in Flesh and Blood. I think you got a knack for the game. There was a
Yeah,
time
you
where
do.
Enigma LL'd and you weren't so sure, but I think you've gotten over that period.
Yeah. I mean, I still miss Enigma. She goaded.
Oh, of course, of course.
But yeah.
But I think there's a difference between missing the deck you came up with and feeling like you will never be able to play another deck as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I am assuming that you feel that way, but is it safe to say that you feel you can reach the peaks you did on Enigma with another deck at this point?
Oh, I think I'm a much better player than when I was playing Enigma.
Hmm, that makes sense.
I do think like I was like a pretty okay one trick. Like I actually don't really know how good I actually was at Enigma because
Hmm.
she was my first hero and she allowed like way before I started actually like going to events. Like
Bigger events.
yeah, yeah, like basically like when I was playing Enigma I only played like local events like RTN, ProQuest. I did like one Battle Hardened in Toronto that went like okay, like very like not I think I finished something
Hmm.
like 4-3 or 5-3, something like that.
Something like that.
Uh
I have a little, I have a notepad of your events from last year and how they went. With either X's, check marks, or little like so squiggles. And
mhm.
I have BH Toronto marked with a little so squiggle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically that was my first time doing like a bigger event than like an RTN and ProQuest. I had no idea what to expect, and I didn't do super well, I think. Like
Hmm.
but then like by the time I got to my next like kind of big event was like Canadian Nationals, and by that time Enigma had already allowed like 2 months ago. So I never actually played Enigma at like a real big tournament. So I actually don't really know if I was that good of Enigma, but locally I was
Hmm.
doing pretty fine.
Yeah, I think, as you said, luckily you're doing good. And you've mentioned that at some players you looked up to were reaching out to you for advice. Like, regardless
Yeah.
of how you feel about your actual level as player at the time, I think you did have an understanding of the deck, of what it wanted to do, of how to tech cards in.
Yeah, I was like I posted my deck often on like Purple Discord and a lot of people reached out to me for my deck. I know like at least 4 players used my deck at like Pro Tour London, which was pretty cool to hear. Some of them did pretty well, like some of them cashed, I think.
There you
So
go.
it's pretty cool to hear that some people use my list, and I didn't get to go because I wasn't qualified, but
Mhm.
I would have liked to play that event for sure.
I think that is a very understandable statement. Many competitors would like to compete more if they could.
Yeah.
And from my
Oh, for sure.
understanding, that's something you're looking to do a bit more this year.
Yes, yes. Starting with calling Columbus next week. Pretty excited for that.
Do you have your deck locked in for that?
I'm probably playing Gravy Bones. Actually, I'm not probably. I'm definitely playing Gravy Bones. I
Okay.
have been playing nothing other than Gravy Bones, so there's a good chance I am. Well, I mean, I keep saying there's a chance. I'm playing Gravy Bones.
Yeah, you're the type of person that doesn't like to speak in absolutes. Therefore,
Mhm.
there is
Yeah,
always the
yeah,
possibility that someone comes to you tomorrow and says, "Hey, Kubi, here is a statistically proven better deck than Gravy Bones. It's the easiest deck in the world to play. You should play it. Here are all the
yeah.
cards."
Oh, for sure. But I think right now, like the deck is just like so good. Before that, I was playing Verdance a lot. I played Verdance basically. I've been playing Verdance since Canadian Nationals,
Mhm.
where I played her at Nats. I had a little detour playing Slippy, which is
Yes.
a mistake. But and after that, I basically have been playing Verdance. I was like jamming a little bit of Gravy when I came back from Singapore, and then I picked up Gravy like I'd say a month ago,
Mhm.
and the deck's just very solid. The more they nerf him, the more he feels like playing Enigma, so that's great for me.
Love to hear it.
Yeah,
When you were playing Gravy a bit during your period where, for lack of a better word, you were a Verdance main,
yeah.
uh, would you say that you were mostly playing him because you wanted to learn from the people around you who are generally Gravy specialists, or you wanted to
Um,
learn the matchup, or what was your motivation for or wanting to play him as a
so
secondary deck? Because he's very hard.
I've been wanting, yeah, I've been wanting to like learn Grey Bones for a little bit. It's been a while. But basically, Grey Bones came out during High Seas. Canadian Nats was 2 weeks after High Seas, or like a week after. So I didn't. First of all, I didn't feel like I would have time to get access to all the cards or like learn the deck properly.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm a very good deck builder. I'm a good like I think I'm a good pilot. But usually like I'm not like an innovator or something. Someone
Yeah.
who's gonna like build a deck from scratch. So I usually need a lot of reference points. Back then I wasn't on a team leader, so I wasn't very comfortable like bring this deck and bringing it. Especially like from what I've seen at the beginning, like what no I because basically it was like a fresh meta. We didn't really know how good Gravy was gonna be or how the deck was gonna play out. And from my limited understanding at the time, I wasn't sure how good the deck was gonna be.
Mhm.
Turns out the deck is really, really freaking good.
You had to give it
Um,
the room to develop, though.
yeah. After Canadian Nats, I had Pro Tour Singapore that I was preparing for.
Mhm.
Again, I think like Pro Tour was like 2 or 3 weeks after Canadian Nats.
Mhm.
So again, I didn't feel like I had the time to learn Gravy Bones or build a deck or anything like that. So then I really started playing Gravy Bones like after Pro Tour Singapore when I came back, because then we had no events until World Championships. And then like I still wasn't feeling comfortable playing Gravy before like for World Championship or anything like that. So also they did a pretty big nerf at that time, like after Singapore, like they banned like Golden Temple, which did change the deck a lot because they were playing 9 copies of that card. So now you're going from 9 to 3.
Mhm.
And at the time I still wasn't on a team, so I wasn't really comfortable like bringing the deck. So I think what changed is that I joined a team quite recently, and so it's nice to have like other Grave Bones players to talk to and like talk deck building or like
Mhm.
deck ideas, and it makes me like a lot more comfortable like actually prepping this hero, because I think it's a very complex hero that you like. For me, I knew I couldn't figure out by myself, so having the help helps a lot. Which is like why I've been picking up this deck now.
That makes sense. You have slightly more access to minds that can help you develop up yourself as a Gravy player.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm, I'm up to touch on both at some point. I'll give you the choice. Would you rather keep going down on events you've played, or would you like to take a detour into talking a bit about Value Vampires and how you feel about being on that team now?
I can talk about it. I can talk about Valorant Vampires. It's
All right.
it's been quite recent actually.
Yeah.
Um, so basically, they recruit new players, or like they review their roster after every Tier 4 event. So the last Tier 4 event was the World Championships in Philadelphia in November. And so after the World Championships, they reached out to me to join the team. Um, a lot of like I know like a couple of Montreal players have been on that team or like are still on the team, which I think it's like kind of helped like seg my way into the team. But they thought I would be a good inclusion to the team, so they reached out, and I'm pretty freaking happy they did because it's been really nice to like have other players to talk to and just like get scrims going and play some games. Um, Obviously, I'm also doing Pro Tour Yokohama in April, and so basically they're looking for like players going to Pro Tour Yokohama to like that wanted to prep with them. I know like I joined at the same time as Daniel Dreisiger, and so we have a little Montreal squad. I think four like four of us from Montreal are in the team and are all going to Yokohama. So it's been pretty nice. Pretty excited for that event.
Who from Montreal is on the team besides you and Daniel?
We have Eric Gaudreau, Godra on Discord or something. We have Leo Vizne, who got top 8 at Pro Tour London last year. And then previously we had Jordan and Jimmy, which are crushing it on table 1. And yeah, I think like that's basically the Montreal players. We have like a couple of players like in other parts of Canada, like Noah Clark, Matt Muse, and then like a lot of like German players, Max Diekman, Lauren, and a couple of people. I think we're like 20 members, something.
Okay, so a fairly deep roster.
Yeah.
I believe the team also tries to focus a bit on having character specialists. Is that still the case, or was that more of a past era?
Um, I'm not sure about that, but like everyone, like we're not all playing the same deck or the same heroes. Like a lot of players are playing different heroes. Um, I guess we do have like some specialists, like but usually like a lot of members play like a couple of heroes, and it's just like really nice because then like if you're looking for a specific hero to play against, then like you can like one of the players like is playing that hero.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's yeah, it's pretty versatile on heroes, and like if like you're trying to learn a new hero and you have questions, then like there are some people that knows those heroes and they're very helpful. So it's been pretty fun. I was also exploring Acilio for a little bit, but I realized the deck's not for me.
Why is that?
Um, I so I think I'm kind of I found my playstyle. I think I like board state decks. I like playing defensive. I like tempo. I like getting I like decks that can like play differently and like just change their plan on the whim or like have different like game plans depending on the matchup.
Hmm.
And Asil is a very strong deck, very powerful deck. But it's somewhat vulnerable to some disruption or tech cards, and that's usually not a spot I want to be in. Uh, I'm not a solo expert by any means, so like some players might disagree with what I'm saying, but basically like I just think I don't really like the playstyle. It's like very aggro, and like you usually have like one game plan, which is like finding a combo, not necessarily just gun and flash, but just like going for like a combo turn at some point. And I just found it like it makes you think very differently about like about value and like how you're supposed to play the deck. And uh I just like as much as I did enjoy playing the deck, I just don't see myself like playing this for like 9 rounds or like anything like that, because I just like yeah, I don't think I can play like that for a whole day. It's very like very very wild from what compared to what I usually play.
Right. Generally, you like the game enough that you will try something that feels a bit unusual, but in a larger tournament, you would rather fall back on the kind of thing that actually feels natural to you, and you can trust
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
instinct on.
The deck felt very unnatural to me, or like very like uh different from how I play my games usually.
Hmm. Whereas I guess Gravy was more of you were not yet familiar with it, but you had the sense that, and if the deck was good, it was the type of deck that would would fit your how do I word this? That would fit your general mental structure.
Yeah, I actually, well, interesting enough, I had actually sold a lot of my gravy cards a while back in summer,
Hmm.
and then I like shamefully bought them back recently to play the deck. I think at the time the deck wasn't really like the 9 tipple version. I didn't really like it because the deck was like very combo-y and like not very good at blocking.
Hmm.
If people know from Flesh and Blood, I love blocking. I love playing defensive. And the Grey Bones deck was a little bit too like non-blocky to me. I wouldn't say it's a defensive deck by any means right now, but the deck does block a lot better because you had to deal with matchups like Syndra and Dio and Warriors and stuff like that. So you do need to be able to block when you need to or have to.
Hmm.
So right now, current version of Gravy that's like not as like explosive, I would say, but like very consistent and like grindy and like you still have like powerful combo turns that you can set up and stuff like that. But also you're able to block and be defensive and turtle a little bit
Hmm.
when you need to, which is like so just having like that aspect in the deck where like you can like kind of like block out and combo later or stuff like that has made me appreciate the deck a lot more now than previously.
Okay, yeah. So echoing what you said Ed earlier, as the deck gets more bans, it becomes more of the type of deck you'd like to play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is pretty silly. Like I don't think the deck is like better or anything. It's just like
Yeah,
now it fits more my playstyle than previously, which is a good thing.
yeah.
But
It's not a
I
better
would be
deck, but
down
it's better for you.
yeah, yeah. I would be down to re-explore previous iterations of Gray for sure though. Like
Hmm.
some of the new cards some of the previous cards that got banned, I would like to have some of them back, but you know.
If given a time machine, you might register an older version of the list, even if it felt less familiar.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Makes sense. Uh, yeah. So after that tangent, I guess uh, I'm interested in the current thread we're on of discussing different deck choices. So go after nationals, you go to Approach for Singapore,
Hmm.
and as you mentioned, you were playing Slippy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this and thinking, "Huh, that doesn't super seem like a Kubi deck."
Hmm.
As you said, you also consider it a bit of a mistake. What led you to Slippy? Why didn't you stick with Verdance?
I was all over the place for that tournament. It was my first tier 4. I was very nervous about it. Um, I like I had the mindset of like, oh, if you want to be a pro player, you have to be like able to adapt quickly and just play what's best and everything, and like
Hmm.
kind of be a meta slave, which I kind of am to some degree. But basically after Singapore and after I do think like um, I wouldn't necessarily go back in time and play Verdance or anything like that. Like I think I learned a lot from making that decision,
Hmm.
and it has shaped a lot how I prepare my tournaments now. So um, even though I went there and didn't do super well, like I think it was like very valuable experience, and I'm very happy I had to have that mistake happen to now know how to prepare. But basically, at the time, um, Verdance was in a bad spot. She had a really bad matchup into Gravy. She had an unfavored matchup into Syndra, and Gravy was just all over the place. Like that deck was so good and everyone was playing it. So um, I just felt like playing Verdance would be a like pretty bad mistake because you struggle a lot into Gravy.
Hmm.
But then like I was looking at the data, at the stats, and on paper, like basically Slippy looked like a very good pick. Slippy's like one bad matchup was Verdance, but you had a great matchup into Syndra, and people thought they had a good matchup into Gravy, which ended up being completely false. But um, that was enough for me to be like, hey, maybe I just jammed the best again format because my deck's horrible. But turns out Verdance would have been a pretty decent pick there, because then the most represented deck at that tournament was Slippy. And so playing Verdance and would have been a good pick, because then you have a pretty good matchup into Slippy, and I was much more comfortable on Verdance.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I just didn't know what to prepare. Like I know I had no expectations. I had no idea like the caliber. Like I knew it was like the highest tier of event you can go to for Flesh and Blood, but I don't know. I was kind of underestimating the competition, and like not too sure. Like yeah, I just really had no idea how to prepare for that type of stuff. And so I got there and got destroyed pretty quickly.
Hmm. From the sound of it, it taught you the lessons you needed to later prep for that type of event, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I was much more comfortable for Worlds. I was also like I settled on Verdance like super early. I think I locked in Verdance in like August, and then I just played Verdance from August to till the Worlds in November.
Hmm.
So I was very like well versed in the deck. I was very comfortable playing Verdance, even in my bad matchups. Um, I knew I could probably catch some gravy players off guard, like um, on Verdance, and yeah, I felt very like comfortable and happy to be playing Verdance at that time. Right now, not so much. I don't think she's a well. Even when I was playing her, I didn't think she was a that good of a deck, but still did pretty fine. Like she still had a bad matchup into Gravy and Syndra somewhat, and those were the two other most represented deck in the tournament. So like
Hmm.
you're playing like the worst of the tier one decks, I guess, or something like that. But
You're still playing a tier 1 deck,
uh,
though. Makes sense that if that's the
yeah,
one that you
yeah,
feel
she's
most
still
comfortable
like
on.
yeah, like basically a Swiss demon. Like that deck was really good into like most of the decks except like the Gravy and Syndra.
Hmm. Uh, I guess after that, you go to the world premiere in Montreal, which is was it draft or sealed?
It was so calling was day one, sealed day two draft.
Okay, so same as Metric.
Yeah. I will say I think I'm pretty bad at limited. Um,
That's a very funny
I
statement to me.
yeah. Well, okay. I think I do well in limited when I have a lot of time.
Right.
So a world premiere type of limited event, I knew I was cooked. I knew I was
Mm.
gonna do terribly, because I need to spend a lot of time like jamming this set to like actually figure it out, or like kind of be good. And even then, like I don't fully figure it out. Like I know you're saying this is ironic, because I went 6-0 in draft at the Canadian Nationals.
I mean, also just
Uh
talking to you in general, I think you are someone who likes limited. You are someone who likes practicing limited. But
oh yeah,
I'm
I I
I'm
I
getting the
love
perspective.
yeah. Yeah, so I do like limited a lot, and I try to play it as much as I can when the new sets comes out. But I think Fleshable Limited is very different from Magic Limited, in the sense that like Magic Limited, like it's of course like every set is like very different. Some sets are more bomby, some sets are more aggro, or like more controlish. But like um there's fundamentals in Magic Limited, whereas like 2 drops are good in Limited, and then like just having a good resource curve is important, stuff like that. But in Flesh and Blood, like each set like varies so wildly from one another, from like the playstyle and the heroes that you play. So I think limited in Flesh and Blood is like there are like fundamentals, and like obviously you see a 3-4-7, it's usually pretty good to take, but a lot of the limited experience plays out so differently from one set or another. Like you look at the Hunted, and you look at High Seas, and then you look at Super Slam, and like those 3 sets like don't play the same at all. First of all, you're playing different classes. You're playing different like resource curves. So like High Seas was a very blue heavy set, whereas like Hunted was like kind of light on blues and a very like red heavy set.
Mm.
And then Super Slam is like whatever Super Slam is like kind of a wild set. But um yeah, like I think like I've been finding limited for Flesh and Blood like pretty complex, and a little bit hard to grasp for me for now. But like I'm aiming to get better at it for sure.
I guess that's part of where that affinity comes from. You're someone that sees a problem and you want to solve it, you want to improve at it. So naturally, seeing it as a very challenging format, you are the type of person to see that and go, okay, so let's figure it out, rather than, well,
Mhm.
shit, okay, I don't know how to draft. I'm gonna be nice and constructed. I'm gonna just job all of my limited rounds. We'll get there.
Yeah. No, for sure. I do need to work on limited for flesh and blood. At least I feel
Mm,
like it's um at least at like a higher level of limited. I think I'm pretty bad still.
mm.
Like for Porter Singapore, I think I drafted a very bad deck and played very badly. And then like I haven't really done any limited at like events after that. Like because usually limited is like in the tier fours and sometimes some callings and national championships. But like locally, like when I'm playing limited locally, like sure I'm doing fine. But like I think for like a more competitive events and stuff like that, like I have a lot to work on. I think.
Oh yeah, like that step up in level is very tangible. Like I feel the same in terms of I, I play a lot of FNMs for Magic Draft, and like I am not surprised if I 3-0. I watch a Pro Tour draft or something and I go, oh wow, I would not have thought of being in that deck. I would not have just like
Hmm.
you see that jump of like, the players of a certain quality are practicing with people in their contained environments rather than entering open brackets a lot of the time in games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at those
Mm.
higher level events, that is where you're exposed to them. And I think, depending on what type of person you are, you either go, okay, cool, I see the next level, I have gotten to the point where now I can get worked here, or you show up going, I'm nasty, I'm nice, I 3-0 FNM, oh god, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
And I,
Exactly. Basically, I after for Singapore, I went into the draft X3. Like I did 2-3 in CC. Pretty tilted. You need to X3 to day two. So if I lost one round of draft, I was out of day two. So I round one I lost, so I just dropped out of the event. I was like pretty tilted with my day, didn't want to keep playing,
yeah,
and
naturally, I think every player has their moments where it's just, you just go, you know what, I'm walking away from the table. I'm in
yeah, and
Singapore,
I
I'm gonna
was
go enjoy my day.
yeah I was holding my limited pool, and I was like, oh, this is garbage. Like,
You
I
sort of knew.
might as well just stop here. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I knew I was done for. Like yeah, like that was also like my only ever like competitive limited event after like calling Montreal, which like sure, but I like that tournament was like a one and done in the sense that the only time you could play that limited set competitively was the calling in Montreal because
Yeah.
for Worlds it was PC and LL, so then like that draft didn't matter like at all.
Yeah, I remember.
So
Sorry, do you have more to say?
oh yeah, I mean it was just like a one and done limited set. So then like it never got like like I've never played that set like in limited after. So
Right.
I would say I would count like the Pro Tour Singapore as the one time I played limited like competitively and like prepped for it.
Yeah, that
But
was when you
I
were
just
fully
haven't.
invested.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the sense I got as well of like, I remember, High Seas he's came out, and we talked a bit about how you wanted to get good at High Seas. You wanted to, you felt that you could find that at edge in competitive events that were playing High Seas constructed and limited, where you felt people weren't always super focused on limited. You trusted your ability to learn
Yeah.
it, and you were going
Oh
to sit down and learn it. Whereas Super
yes.
Slam, like, before the set was even spoiled, I remember sitting across from you many times, and you would go, I don't think they're trying super hard on, or not that they're not trying super hard, but I don't think Super Slam is going to be a hyper competitive, if limited set, because it is not the format at Worlds. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fun with it at the premiere, but like,
Yeah. Exactly.
it was not something you were setting your sights on improving at.
Yeah. I did actually forgot a detail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, High Seas for Pro Tour Singapore was actually not my first time drafting competitively for High Seas because High Seas Limited was also the draft format for the Canadian Nationals.
Yeah, you did quite well
Um,
at Nets.
yeah. So well. I I did bad in CC and then
Well,
did
yes,
pretty
you
good in
did quite
draft.
well in limited at Nats.
Yeah, I went so for my Canadian Nats run, I started 1-2 in CC, and then I went so day one I started 1-2, and then I finished the day 7-2. I ended up going 6-0 in draft. Um, I forced fatigue Marlin 2 times, and it was pretty good. Both times were only 2 Marlins in the pot, so I ended up getting pretty good decks both times. My first draft deck was like broken. It was so insane. Crazy thing that happened in that pod was like I see I think it was packed like pick like maybe 3 or 4. I see a bluefin harpoon and a redfin harpoon, which are both like very good cards and like very like if you're playing Marlin, like you take one of those
Yeah,
usually, unless you're playing like Redline Marlin.
yeah,
But anyways, I look at the deck, I'm like, oh wow, bluefin harpoon, redfin harpoon, like this sucks. I can only get one of them, so I'll take bluefin harpoon because it's the best one. And then the redfin harpoon wheeled, and I was losing my mind because I was like, oh my god, I have like the most ridiculous deck right now. Um,
yeah. The kind of moment where like
so
you see it, you're just like, yeah, cool. My lane's
yeah,
open. I drafted
yeah,
right.
like,
Go me.
I was like, this is crazy. This should never happen. And then like my deck was like a absolute monster of a deck, like banger after banger every turn. It was a pretty sick deck. But yeah, like I think after Canadian Nationals, like after going 6-0 in draft, of course, I was feeling pretty confident in draft, and then I got humbled pretty quickly at in Singapore. I was not as prepared as I thought I was, which is uh eye-opening experience for sure.
Oh yeah, but even then, I think you are the type of person to take that in stride. You took that as cool. I need to grind even more limited, rather than well, never mind. I actually only play constructed. I'm
Yep,
going to
yep,
join the
exactly.
masses that will just try to coin flip on the limited.
Yeah, it is actually hard to like play limited in person. I feel like it's like uh unless people are preparing for events, it's hard to like actually get to prepare limited. So
Hmm.
I'm excited for next time. Like there's a limited set that matters competitively to prepare again because I'll have a completely like new approach to it for sure. And also I mean I'm just excited to like play a draft set that matters because we had Super Slam, which was like one and done. Next set that's coming has no limited because it's a supplementary set.
Hmm.
There's a new format, Silver Age, which I'm pretty excited about. But then we're getting limited back like the next set after, which is like still in like 4 or 5 months or even more. So yeah, I'm missing limited right now. Like I'm pretty excited to start drafting again.
Nice. Yeah, that also makes sense with we've had discussions about how you'd be open to playing a bit of the upcoming Magic sets limited. So
Yes, yes, I
that
want
makes
to
sense if
play.
you don't have it for a few more months. You'll take whatever you can get, even if it means playing Magic the Gathering.
I, I did read some of the cards from Morrowind Eclipse, and some of these cards seem very very powerful.
Yeah,
So
we're in a brave new era of standard or Magic cards.
yes, yes. Some of these cards like I don't remember any cards off the top, but like I was reading this like I think yesterday night, like just like as curiosity, because like I think I saw some of the art of the cards, and like I like the art of Morrowind a lot. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set.
And some of the cards were pretty insane to me. So I'm excited to actually play it and see how it plays out.
That's always funny to me. I think I'm somewhat of a frog in the boiling pot, where like, yeah, I play every set. I go, yep, this is a Magic card. That's so reasonable. So it's very funny talking to you, like, after a bit of time away from the game, where, like, you'll always point at these cards and go, like, this is crazy. You're allowed to do this? And I'm just like, yeah, what do you mean? That's Magic cards. That's a
Yeah.
Roboroid. That's my good pal.
Oh yeah, like the magic sets have been like just the power level has just been going crazy. Like sometimes I read some of these like standard playable cards and I'm like, isn't this like a Modern Horizons card? Like this
Oh,
is
yeah.
kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Playing Standard right now reminds me of the power level Modern was at when I first started playing it. Like,
Mhm.
I remember seeing the first Modern Horizons set and telling people I think they don't like having to deal with the reserve list. They're trying to make Modern into a legacy power level set and just move everything up one. And I definitely feel that now where I'm like, oh wow, I'm playing against Green Black X mid range. they're going to win or lose on turn 4. I wonder what format this reminds me of.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it is very powerful. It is
Oh, for sure.
they're putting text on Magic cards.
Yeah. Like I didn't play Magic for super long. Like I started playing Magic. Like Magic was the first time I played card games in person after LOR died.
Yeah,
Which my first set was Murders of Carl of Matter, which I heard is not a very cherished set, but I played basically from Murders of Carl of Matter until Bloomborough or Dustmorn,
I think
and,
Duskmorn.
and
Like
then like
you, you stop playing Magic like decently early into Duskmorn, but with enough time that like we
yeah,
drafted Duskmorn a few
I
times.
I drafted Dustborn a couple of times, but like the last time I played Standard, because the only format I played Constructed was Standard.
Mhm.
The last format I played was Bloomborough,
Okay,
because by Dustborn it was already getting too expensive for me, because I also started getting into Flesh and Blood at that time,
yeah,
and so I had to pick like one game just because of playing two TCGs is really expensive,
yeah,
and so I opted for Flesh and Blood, and I think looking in hindsight it was they're a pretty good decision.
yeah. I think that it's been paying off for you. You seem very happy with it. Also,
Yeah.
for context, for anyone unaware, Kubi was playing green black mid range in standard, somewhat fitting of he wants to play a modal deck. He wants to block where he can, but not be forced into it. That
Yep.
was
I,
also
I
a
still
very
have
expensive
my
deck at the time.
yeah. I still have a Mosswood Dread Knight in my deck box in my Flesh and Blood deck because it's my favorite card in Magic. Just like just pure value and gas that card that I like. Basically, my dream in Flesh and Blood is to play a deck that has the same vibe as Mosswood Dread Knight, which I think Grave Bones Axe is actually that pretty close.
Hmm. It does certainly draw cards.
hmm
What would you say it made you want to jump from Magic to Flesh and Blood?
So the first time I played Flesh and Blood is very funny. At the time, every Wednesday I was drafting Magic at Silver Goblin, and every Wednesday I was drafting there. And there was this one time where the draft format, because it changed. It was like a player's vote or like someone who would win and then choose a format. And then one of these formats was Modern Horizons 2 or 3 or something like that. Or it was when no,
It
it
was
was
probably
when
two.
Modern Horizons 3 came out.
Okay,
No,
you did
no,
play
I
that Modern
remember because
Horizons 3 draft.
the week before we drafted Modern Horizons 2, and then the week after Modern Horizons 3 came out, and I I went there to draft Modern Horizons 3, and then they said, "Yeah, that'll be $50." And I was like, "Oh, $50 to draft is a pretty steep price. Do you have any other formats to draft?" And they're like, "Well, that's the only Magic format we have for draft for today, but we do have Flesh and Blood draft." And I was like, "Oh, how much is Flesh and Blood draft?" And they're like, $10. So I was like, "Okay, sign me up." So, so I drafted part of the Mistveil. That was my first time ever playing Flesh and Blood in like June. I think it was like the weekend or like the month like part of the Mistveil came out. So then I play limited. I found it pretty fun, and then I just wanted to like I got more interested in it. I looked into it to build a deck, and then I ended up building a deck and playing Flesh and Blood ever since.
What hero did you draft?
I drafted Zen actually.
You didn't stick with
Um,
them?
no, definitely not. So I at that time, well, I really wanted to draft Enigma. I think like
Okay,
actually
you
like
do.
that it was my first time playing like Flesh and Blood, but I did look into it. I think it was Adam that told me like, "Hey, you should try Flesh and Blood or something." So I think I played the Ira starter decks to like learn to play the game.
Probably.
With a buddy of mine that he was also playing. He was actually my friend that introduced me to like Magic,
Hmm.
and I was like convincing him to like try this game with me. So we both tried Flesh and Blood. We bought the like MST Blitz collection where there was like a Blitz deck of like Zen, Enigma, and New.
Yeah.
We jammed a bunch of games, and I after playing that I tried Enigma first and then I just played Enigma. Uh, I had no interest in trying the other decks. I just tried playing Enigma and I was like, okay, I'm playing Enigma.
Okay, yeah. So like
Uh,
you knew Enigma was your hero. You drafted Zen because you were a competent enough drafter to have sat down and gone, "Oh, I guess I can't be Enigma today."
um, well, actually, if I remember the picks correctly, looking now, I should have been on Enigma, because basically there was only there were two Enigmas in that pod, and both of them were next to each other, but like 3 seats away from me. Which I would have been in an amazing Enigma seat there, and I did pass some pretty gas Enigma stuff. Uh, I just didn't draft it because like that hero looked pretty complicated, and since it was like my literal first time playing Flush But I'm like, this is too complicated for me, especially because it's limited.
Makes
So I'm
sense.
just gonna stick to Zen, and I think it's like someone just told me at the beginning because like we told the pod that we were like completely new to Flesh and Blood. This was like our little first time playing, and I think it was Jabril actually or someone. He just said like, yeah, just pick Zen and you'll be fine. Just like play an aggro soup, and that's what I did.
Hmm. Seems like it worked out for you. It's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
that is an impressive level of recall that you can still go, "Oh yeah, I think these people were in this seat." He playing
yeah.
Enigma,
It was
I
a
passed some
really
good
no.
cards.
I remember it because it was a very cursed pod. Oh, sorry, it wasn't 4 seats away from me. I remember exactly the seatings.
All right,
It was four news next to each other. So seat 1 to 4 was four news. Seat 5 and 6 was me and my buddy. We were both on Zen, and then seat 7 and 8 was two Enigmas.
brilliant.
It was a really weird pod because I remember like because I had been drafting Magic a lot at that point. So when I got to drafting, I was like, huh, this is a very odd pod. And then like yeah, it was four news, two Zens, two Enigmas, and all every hero next to each other, which was very funny.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely should have drafted Enigma there if I understood any of those cards.
Yeah, but it's also a skill to be able to go, "I don't understand this. I'm not gonna try to at
Yeah.
runtime."
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess to put a bow on the general limited discussion, I think I've gained a slightly new insight on how you approach it, where it actually is very similar to Constructed, where you consider yourself a bit more of a honer than an innovator.
Yeah.
You like to be able to engage with the format enough to get your reps, but you aren't necessarily someone that it goes, "I'm going to hit the ground running. I can't wait to go into
Yeah.
this set blind because I got my fundies down."
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Degen grinder spectrum in like card games. I usually like to just keep like headbutting my head into a wall until I figure it out stubbornly. I like not to say that I'm not mindful of like practice or learning or anything like that, but like I do end up like playing like a lot of games to figure it out, and like I think my one like good trait about me is like I don't get sick of playing, so I can just keep playing like forever basically. Um, Notoriously, I had like 2,000 games on Talishar with my Enigma deck. Uh, like I just like I'm a grinder, and it definitely comes from Legends of Runeterra, where like I used to grind ladder a lot. I would play like 6 7 hours of like ladder every day almost. Not every day, but like
It
I
was
was
not
playing a couple of
infrequent.
hours. Yeah. I was playing I was spending a lot of times like grinding ladder. So for Flesh and Blood, like ladder doesn't really exist for that, but like I still like do play a lot of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you don't have a ladder, you still have Talishar. You are
Yeah,
still someone that is happy to grind some scrims. Like
yeah,
you
for
will
sure.
put your time in. You are not someone that wants to play the least of the game possible.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I think that's something that drives a lot of passionate competitors is just you love what you're doing. You love what of your work and you'll
Hmm.
never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
I think one of the worst things you can do as a competitor is start not having fun with your game.
Hmm.
On that topic, I think you generally are a strong learner. Like you describe it as bashing your head into the wall, but I think you are very good at not getting a concussion while you do it. You know to wear a helmet while you bash your head. Uh, do
Hmm.
you have any? Do you have any ways you conceptualize that learning structure, or is there anything you really try to highlight, or is it just kind of you think you absorb information well?
I do have like a kind of a sicko method, but like basically for Flesh and Blood, uh, like the mastery of the deck you're playing is very important because every single matchup almost plays very differently one another.
Hmm.
Um, just because of how your hero interacts with the other hero and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so basically, my mindset is like, okay, until proven otherwise, I have 100% win rate into every matchup, and then I lose a game, and I'm like, okay, so how do I make that 100%?
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna just keep playing that matchup until I figure it out. Um, for example, one of the marking moments for me was when I played Verdance versus Kasai versus my friend Jimmy, and he crushed me pretty hard. And he's not a Kasai player. It was like I think his first time playing Kasai. He's just a very good player.
Yeah, I know
Um,
the vibe from fighting games. Like, hey,
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna pick some random thing. Oh God, why are you this good at this random thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he picks up Kasai for fun as his first time playing the deck and crushes me on the deck, and I'm playing Verdance. And I think after that, like that moment stayed rent free in my head for like a whole week. I basically spent a week of like DMing Kasai players, only playing against Kasai until I had that matchup down to a T, which ended up paying off because my first round at World Championship was actually against Pablo Pintor. Notably, a guy that like won Pro Tour twice, like the only player to win a Pro Tour twice.
Yeah,
And round one he was playing Kasai, and then I won that game, so I was pretty happy at the start of the day. He's a very great player and a very intimidating player to play against. But when I saw he was playing Kasai, I was actually pretty happy to see Kasai. I felt very prepared for that matchup.
yeah. You got to breathe a little bit of a sigh. You went, okay, great. I'm against a real scary player on a deck I know how to play against, versus just that
Yeah, yeah,
absolute dread
exactly.
of like, oh God, you're a great player, and I have no idea how to play the matchup.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
if you
sick.
presented
Anyone
the
got a
mirror
match
to
slip?
me, I would have been terrified if you present like the mirror or like gravy or something. But because it was Kasai and I had spent so much time figuring out the matchup, like I was pretty happy. Funnily enough, the round two was also Kasai and I lost that time, so
What can you do?
yeah,
As long as you win on camera,
uh,
that's what matters.
yeah. But yeah, like basically, I do that to every matchup. Like even the super obscure ones. Like I know I spent a couple of days like figuring out how to beat the Arachne Huntsman matchup as Verdance, even though like no one plays that deck. Uh, and I've actually seen it to at a tournament once, like at a Pro Quest,
Did you win?
and I did win that game. But yes,
Oh, there you go. It
I
worked.
did win that game, and I had a pretty sicko strategy, which was never attack, just send Arcane, because then they can disrupt you with their new D react. At that time it worked. I don't think it would work now, but like when I was testing, it worked pretty well, and I was pretty happy with that plan.
Method paid off.
Yeah. But yeah, usually that's I go through every single hero with that like with that mindset, and then like at some point I spent enough time that I'm pretty comfortable against everything.
Hmm.
I'm not quite there yet with Gravy, but yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's always a process.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you would give to someone who does not consider themselves a natural learner, feels like they really hit a plateau and then can't really overcome that?
I think one of the important like I think the most important thing when you're learning a competitive game is to learn from your losses. I think especially for card games, I think it's easy to fall into the trap to the of like, oh, I got high rolled, or oh, I just got like very bad variance. It's really easy to fall into that trap when you're playing a card game. But like what made me realize that is like there was a matchup or like something that I was like losing a lot to as Enigma or like and that matchup like on paper like was a favorite matchup, and I was like, oh, there's no way like this matchup's favored or something. And then like I was like reviewing my games and then looking back and I was like, oh, I'm just playing this matchup completely wrong. And then I like had to reframe how to play this matchup, and then like then that matchup got good.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of times in card games, it's like even the bad matchups, like there's always things to work on. I feel like um because like when I was playing also like Verdance versus Gravy, I was like, oh, this matchup's like impossible. It's like a 1% matchup. Like I can never beat this matchup. It turns out there's a lot of things you can do to make that matchup a little bit better, even though it's never going to be favored or like even. There's just so many things to work on to improve, and like yeah, like I just think like there's also like a lot of decisions you have to take in a game, like so many decisions, and like so many decisions that like the variance is like a lot more overblown than it actually is. Like I
Mm.
do think like for specifically Flesh and Blood and possibly other card games, there is less variance than you would think, even though it's a card game, even though
Yeah.
you have to shuffle a deck and like there's a lot of random things that can happen.
It's very tempting to
A
shrug
lot
and
of
say nothing I
losses.
could do.
Yeah, exactly. And I after reviewing my games, like I do realize that there's a lot less variance and more bad decision making on my part on my part that makes me
Mm.
lose games. And so I think it's really important to like reflect and like just look back on games, like not necessarily immediately after losing, but like usually like sometimes looking back at the loss from a week ago is gonna like be very helpful, because you will be looking at that game with a completely fresh mind.
That makes a lot of sense.
And like so yeah, for me I think it's very important to not just blame the variance and look at yourself and how you could have improved and like what you did wrong, rather than uh like blaming something that you have no control over.
I think that's a very reasonable mindset. So I guess wrapping up your competitive year, we've got at Worlds and then the BH at Worlds. How'd you feel going
Mhm.
into that event?
For the Battle Harden, I
Going into
felt
Worlds first, then the
oh
BH.
into Worlds. Okay, Worlds.
Yeah,
So
like
for
going into the
Worlds,
weekend.
yeah. For Worlds, I was feeling pretty pumped. Uh, for some reason, I had zero nerves. I was feeling like, oh, I'm in like my flow state. Like this is gonna go well. I'm pretty really good. For the CC part at least.
Hmm.
Um, coming for Worlds, like the LL prep was horrible.
Hmm.
Uh, I still wasn't on a team at that time,
Hmm.
and I had no idea what the hell I was gonna play for Living Legends. They also did change the format a lot. Like they did like some pretty intense bans like twice in the month before Worlds. So at Worlds, I had no idea like what to play. Also, it was incredible. If you're not on a team, it was incredibly hard to prepare for Worlds
Hmm.
for Living Legends, because uh, you ask any like local players to play Living Legends, and all of them are either don't have a deck, really don't want to play it, because Living Legends is just like an accumulation of decks they're traumatized by from the past. So a lot of people don't really want to play LL, at least like casually.
Hmm.
And then the competitive players, well, they all have their own teams and they're prepping like between each other.
Yeah.
So I like I play Living Legends like as much as I could, like on Talisman and stuff like that, but like nothing like super sizable. And also I just had no idea how good the deck I was learning actually was.
Hmm.
I did actually change the deck like a week before the event. I was learning Starvo for a while, and every day I was playing Starvo, and this deck just felt worse and worse. And I knew no one that was playing Starvo, so I was like, am I just playing a really bad deck? So I ended up like, I think I hit up Jordan, and I was like, Jordan, I'm gonna play whatever you're playing. And I just like, he told me he was playing Ristar. I was like, all right, I'll play Ristar. And then I played his deck list, and yeah, so coming to Worlds, I felt like 100% ready on Verdance. I felt like I was gonna do well. Uh, I did okay. I went 3-2 in CC, and so I need to X3 to day two, and then I went 1-2 in LL, so I did day two.
Hmm.
Um, again, I think my first 2 rounds in LL, I played two mirrors. So I lost the first mirror, I won the second mirror, and then third round I played against New, which was a deck that was on basically no one's radar,
Hmm.
or like at least like to my knowledge. And I was just grossly unprepared for that matchup. I didn't even have like a sideboard or anything. Like I my opponent showed me New, and I was like, oh, I have no clue how this is gonna play out. Like I
Yeah.
never played a Rune Blade against New. I never played this matchup, and I have no idea what's in there. Well, I had a good idea what was in their deck, but like no clue what was the plan to this matchup, so I got crushed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that, the next day was the calling. I really didn't want to play Living Legends. I don't hate the format, but at the time I was like, I know nothing about this format, and
Yeah.
I don't want to bother.
Yeah, you were prepped for it.
Yeah, exactly. So then the last day on Sunday there was the Battle Harden, which was CC, which I thought I could have done better in CC. So I was like, okay, well, time to
Time to
uh
prove it.
like yeah, time to show it. So I did a couple of changes from my worlds list. I removed a couple of cards that like um I just like took out some like kind of like a very like niche cards, or like not niche but like cards that were there for like some specific matchups, and I
Yeah.
I removed them for like some more like consistent pieces, or like basically I just wanted more consistency in my deck. So I did some changes, and I started the day pretty well. I started six yeah. So at the Balharden I went 6-0 for my first 6 rounds, which is great. So by round 6 I was locked into top 8. And then I lost my last 2 rounds of Swiss, and then I ended up that tournament like top 4, which was pretty good. Again, in that tournament, I just like my approach to starting that tournament was like I'm playing I'm playing the I'm playing the best deck in the format. It wasn't true, but that was my mindset. I'm playing the best deck, and I just know this deck very well, and I'm gonna like crush the other matchups, and then like I think my 6 rounds I just played very good matchups.
To clarify,
Alright.
when you say that you felt like you are playing the best deck in the format that you were, as in the best deck for you, or as in like at the time you were genuinely like, not Verdance is it, this is the best deck,
Oh,
but in hindsight.
I was no. So Verdance is the best deck for me.
Yeah.
Like I at that time, I think for sure. Like I didn't see myself playing anything else in Verdance, but um, I had to like pop myself in and tell myself, oh, you're playing the best deck in format, which
Yeah.
wasn't true. Like I for that tournament, I'm not sure what would have been the best deck in the format, but Verdance was not it for me.
But regardless, you need
But
you need that level of, if not delusion,
yeah,
self
yeah.
confidence to go, no, I'm nasty, I win this.
Yeah. Like I was there to win, and then I did that was like my first like I guess breakout performance like on at a bigger event. Um, Pretty happy. Like that like made my weekend for sure. I was like pretty happy to finally get a top cut at a big tournament. And like basically, yeah, like the world championship was a impeccable vibes. My friend Jimmy got top 8 at Worlds, which is not too shabby. Um, and yeah, so that was a pretty good weekend for all of us. We had like a lot of fun, and yeah, I've been like excited to do more events after that tournament, and um, kind of like showed me I can do well at tournaments if I'm well prepared and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
just want to keep being well prepared and do well as much as I can. So
that makes a
hopefully
lot of sense.
yeah, my goal is just to do more events and do better than last year. So hopefully I get to do that, and I'm pretty excited to play competitively again.
Yeah, rooting for you to do that.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, I feel like that is a pretty natural wrap up to what we've been talking about. I was going to ask you what you want to do for the future, but I think
Yeah.
you've already established that for me. Anything else you want to say? Anything you want to shout out? Anyone you want to shout out?
Um. Yeah. I mean, shout out to like all my locals in Montreal. Always fun to play with everyone. Shout out to Silver Goblin. They've done a lot for me for competitively and like for my events. And I will say shout out to Rattle Vampires for picking me up recently. Hope I bring honor to the team. And yeah, pretty excited to compete more and just like overall have some fun with it.
I believe you're also offering coaching on Metafy now, right?
Yes. As of recently, I've started coaching on Metafy. Uh, I don't have any guides yet or anything, but it's coming. I'm writing some stuff slowly, and yeah, I'll get that launching soon.
Okay.
I'll post it on Twitter when it's ready, but yeah, not quite now, but like probably in the near future, I will be posting some guides and offer a little bit more coaching.
Cool. I can definitely say from talking to Cubi, he has a very good competitive mindset. He is good at developing ideas. He's good at helping you develop your ideas. So if that's something you're looking for, hit him up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the discussion. As mentioned at the top, I consider you a strong learner, a strong competitor. I'm excited to keep seeing where you go.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.